All right, Shalawam. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH Bahasham YAHAWASHI Bahasham RAWCHAA QADASH. Double honors to the elders and apostles, the great millstone, who taught me this truth. Through the spirit and power of YAHAWAH Bahasham YAHAWASHI. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalawam, and Lord will, this video is edifying. Now, this is going into, all right, how you're gonna have Israelites looking like basically heathens, okay? All right, every nation under heaven, okay? The heathen, okay? Israelites that look like, all right, Ishmaelites, Moabites, Ammonites, okay? Japhites, okay? Hamites, all right? Edomites, okay? You're gonna have Israelites that look like, all right, basically every nation under heaven, all right? Because we've been scattered, all right, throughout the four corners of the earth, you see? All right, and from basically I think the term is intermingling. Okay, you could have Israelites that look like a Edomite, a so-called white man. Israelites that look like a Moabite, a so-called Chinese man. Israelites that look like a so-called African, a Hamite. Okay, and basically this is a movie that I watched when I was in like the I think it was the 7th or the 6th grade. Okay, basically in middle school. Or my teacher had put this movie on. All right, basically, if I'm not mistaken, this is about this woman whose name was Belle or Bella. Okay, and this is her right here. All right, the light-skinned, okay, woman. Okay, and basically, her father, if I'm not mistaken, slept with a slave. Okay, and so really, that was an Edomite that slept with an Israelite. Okay, all right, when you Israelites are what you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, but basically, from that Edomite sleeping with that Israelite woman, it produced this. Now, even though this woman has a darker complexion than, all right, this woman, this Edomite, she's still an Edomite, okay? Because her father was who? Esau. All right, when you go into it, basically the family was like, they wasn't really accepting her. They wasn't seeing her as like equal, you know, because of her skin color, okay? But the point is that the whole time she was still an Edomite, okay? And I guess I'm gonna play the I guess I should play the trailer, or I should just read about it. I'm gonna read about it, okay? Just read instead of playing it. It says, Bella is a 2013 British period drama film directed by Emma Asante. All right, blah, blah, blah. Let's drop down. It says, the film is inspired by 1779 painting of Dido Elizabeth Bella beside her cousin, so that was her family member, Lady Elizabeth Murray. So that Edomite that she was sitting with was her cousin. So even though she was she looked like she could have been a Jade because she had melanin, she was still an Edomite. Okay, and basically I'm gonna get the Dido Elizabeth Bella, and then I'm gonna get into the scriptures. Okay, this is her. All right, it says Dido Elizabeth Bella was a British heiress and a member of the Lindsay family of Everlicks. She was born into slavery and illegitimate. Her mother, Maria Bella, was an African slave, which was really an Israelite slave, okay, in the British West Indies. Her father was Sir John Lindsay, a British career naval, all right, who was stationed there. Her father was knighted and promoted to admiral. Let's get Sir John Lindsay, okay? This is him. This is an Edomite, okay? This is her father, a Edomite, a so-called white man, all right? But he slept with an Israelite woman and produced Bella, or produced Dido, produced her, okay? But at the same time, this is still a Edomite. That's why you cannot go by appearance. Okay, because you're going to have Israelites that look like heathens. Then you're going to have heathens that look like Israelites. All right. And that's where the parable of the wheat and tares come in, which is what I'm going to get into, because this woman right here will be considered a tare. All right. So now let's get into these precepts that I have. OK, Matthew, the book of Matthew, chapter 13, verse 24, it says another parable. All right. When you get a definition of a parable, it's what it says: allegory, a simple story used to illustrate a moral or spiritual lesson. spiritual lesson as told by Yahawashi in the Gospels. So let's read. And that's another thing. This is a spiritual thing. All right, you can't look at the carnal man. You can't look at the flesh. All right, like the scriptures. Well, not like the scriptures say, but as people say in the world, you can't judge a book by its cover. Okay, so it says, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. Now, what is this good seed? This good seed represent who? The nation of Israel. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay. Now, when you drop down, let's get straight to it. Verse 38, it says, the field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom. Now, who's the children of the kingdom? The children of the kingdom are the Israelites. And I got precepts. The first precept, Micah chapter 4, verse 8. It says, O thou, O tower of the flock, the stronghold of the daughter of Zion. Unto thee shall it come, even the first dominion. The kingdom shall come to the daughter of Jerusalem. And Jerusalem is what? A people before a place. It represents who? You Israelites. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. These people are the children of the kingdom. Okay? Let's get another verse. Let's go to the book of Baruch, chapter 5, verse 5. It says, O arise, O Jerusalem, once again, which represents what? The nation of Israel, and stand on high, and look about toward the east, and behold, thy children, it says, behold, thy children gathered from the west unto the east, O Slakia. If I'm not, O Slakia. In cases, Jerusalem can represent the actual city and can also represent the nation of Israel. So, Slakia on that. Okay, so it says, arise, O Jerusalem, and stand on high, and look about toward the east, and behold thy children. Now, what's Jerusalem children? The Jerusalem children is who? The Israelites. Okay, and the Israelites themselves can also represent Jerusalem. Okay, so it says, and behold, thy children gathered from the west unto the east by the word of the Holy One. All right, this word is what's gathering the nation of Israel. All right, and it says, rejoicing in the remembrance of the Most High Yahweh, for they departed from thee on foot and were led away of their enemies. And what does scripture say? Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. The Lord shall send thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more, and there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. You see, and who were the enemies that we were sold to? The Edomites, the so-called white men. All right? They're the ones that put us on slave ships and brought us to where? America, which is what? The new Egypt. Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon, which will be destroyed in these end times. So it says, were led away of their enemies, okay? But the Most High bringeth them unto thee, exalted with glory, as children of the kingdom. You see that? That's who the children of the kingdom are. The Israelites. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay? Those are the children of the kingdom. All right? Now let's go back to the parable. Okay? So it says, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field, which represent the Israelites. But while men slept, now what is the time that the Israelites slept? During the time of slavery. You see? All right? All right, this is what this period is speaking of, when we were in captivity. Well, we're still in captivity, but when we was in chains, you know, when we was picking cotton, and these devils, what were they doing? It's gonna go into it. It says, his enemy came. All right, who's the enemy? The so-called white man, the Edomites. You see? Now, you could put the other nations inside of this, but this enemy is, when you go into this parable, is really going into Esau. Okay? So it says his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat. You see? Because the wheat are what? The children of the kingdom, the Israelites. You see? And the tares are these heathens that look like the wheat. That's why when you search up tares and wheat, that's what they look very identical. They're hard to tell apart. Just like you can have an Israelite, right, that has a dark complexion, then you can have a heathen that has a dark complexion and could look like an Israelite, but what? He's a heathen and the other is an Israelite. Okay, they look identical, but they're different. So it says the enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way, right? Because during that time, these devils was basically popping our women. They were sleeping with Israelite women. Going back to what? The movie Bella, how that Edomite slept with an Israelite woman and produced who? Dido Elizabeth Bel or Bella, okay, which that woman would basically represent a tear, okay, a heathen that has the complexion of an Israelite, okay, or that looks like an Israelite, okay. So Khan, all right, and let's get a precept for that. Let's get a precept. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 28. This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 30. It says, "Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her." You see, and that's what was taking place, you know, all right. These devils was basically popping our women, the women of our nation, okay. And what they was bringing forth, see, these women, these Israelite women was basically giving these men children, but those children were not Israelites. They will be the identity of who their father is. That's how this thing works. If your father is an Israelite, you an Israelite. If your father is an Edomite, you an Edomite. If your father is a Moabite, you a Moabite. That's how it works. It don't matter what your mother is. You see, it's what your father, he has the seed, and that's gonna be the identity of that seed, whatever the father is. You see, all right. I think a brother used the I think the word is analogy. Basically, if you take a seed like let's say like an apple seed, right, and you plant it in like 4 different types of soil, will that change the type of tree that pops up? No, it's gonna still be an apple tree, no matter what what soil you put it in. That's like it unto the woman. All right. If an Israelite man sleeps with a Moabite woman, Ammonite woman, Egyptian woman, Edomite woman, it doesn't matter what the woman is. It goes back to who the man is, where that seed come from, and that's why the children are still Israelites. You see, so you're gonna have Israelites that look like heathens, and you're gonna have heathens that look like Israelites. Will represent what? The tares. You see, because these heathen men have been sleeping with our women, and our women have been bringing forth children unto them. Okay, all right, and a good what's one I'm trying to think of one. Like what's one? Oh, Blake Griffin. Okay, Blake Griffin. No, not Blake Griffin. Well, Blake Griffin is a good one, his child. But Drake, I'm gonna go with Drake. Okay, I'm gonna go with Drake because you have Drake. Okay, his father was an Israelite, but his mother was an Edomite. Okay, and Drake came out like a light complexion that he is, but that still doesn't basically what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't basically cancel him out from being an Israelite. He's still an Israelite. You see? That's why the skin tone, how he looks, it really doesn't matter. Okay? He's still an Israelite. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Drake, he also has a woman that has a very light complexion, and then his child came out even light too. All right? And actually, let me just search it up real quick. Search it up real quick. Drake, son. Images, okay? This is his son, all right? This is his son, okay? And it look like he got blue eyes and everything like an Edomite, man. But this is a Israelite. This boy right here is an Israelite. His father is an Israelite. He is an Israelite, okay? Drake's father is an Israelite, all right? Let me search up Blake Griffin, okay? Blake Griffin. Son. Images. Look at this, man. This kid right here is a Israelite. All right. His father, Israelite, and that shows you just like Blake Griffin was in. He was in like a commercial, and it was basically going into Cornelius, because Cornelius was an Israelite. All right. Cornelius was a Israelite, man. All right, but Blake Griffin played the Israelite, man. All right, played Cornelius, because these devils, they know that Cornelius was an Israelite, okay? Even though you got people thinking, no, he's a heathen. No, Cornelius was an Israelite, man. And then Esau chose you that when they made Blake Griffin play Cornelius with the Roman band, or the Roman band around him, okay? All right, but this boy right here that looks like an Edomite, this is an Israelite. All right, and then imagine when he grows up and then he sleeps with a woman that has a light complexion. It's gonna look even more like an Edomite, but what? It's still a Israelite. Okay, that's why you can't go by. Look at this, man. This man look like an Edomite. Okay, that's why you can't go by looks. All right, because it's all the spirit. All right, so All right, Khan. Now let's go back to the precept in the book of Deuteronomy. It says, not that. It says, thou shalt betroth the wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof. So right, so these Edomites was basically sleeping with our women. So when these women bore their children, they came out light skinned, you know. But what? They were still heathen. Okay, they were still the nation of what their father was. You see, you say you have an Israelite woman, right? And then she goes along and she sleeps with a Moabite man. All right. And the Moabite man gets her pregnant. The child that she brings forth is a Moabite. Okay. The child that she brings forth is a Moabite. Okay. All right. But what? Now the Moabite is most likely it has a darker complexion because the mother was dark. You know. Then what if he grows up and he goes out with someone that looks like his mother, another Israelite woman? Then that child comes out even darker, but what? It's still a Moabite, okay? It's still a Moabite, all right? And you could replace that with Esau. Esau sleep with an Israelite woman. Now the child come out, you know, just like Dido Elizabeth Bella, all right? Light complexion, you know. Then she grows up and imagine she sleeps with she sleeps with another Edomite man, all right? Then the child comes out light, okay? It's still an Edomite, man. Okay, it's still an Edomite, okay? So Khan, all right, that's the point. So when the scriptures say his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat, they was popping our women, they was sleeping with our women and bringing forth these heathen children, okay? And went his way, and when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, right? These women basically they was giving birth. Then appeared the tares also. So these heathens that were looking like Israelites popped up too. Okay. That's why the tares and wheat are what? Identical. Okay. It says, so the servants of the householders came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field? Whence then hath it tares? He said unto them, an enemy had done this, and that enemy is Esau, the so-called white man. All right. And it could also represent the heathen. Okay. The servant said unto him, wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? But he said, Nay, lest while you gather up the tares, ye root also the wheat with them. You see? So now you have all these people. You got Israelites and heathen. We all, you know, we living together. We go to the same school. We work at the same jobs, you know. Now you got Israelites that look like heathens. Heathens that look like Israelites. You don't know who's who. All right? Okay? And you can't tell just by, oh, he's dark. Oh, that must be an Israelite. Oh, no, he look like an Edomite. That has to be an Edomite. You see? No. All right. You can't go like, you can't really base it off looks. All right. Because it really goes back to the spirit. Okay. So Khan, it says, but he said, Nay, lest while you gather up the tares, you root up also the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. And in the time of the harvest, I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares and bind them in bundles to burn them. You see, so why are the tares going to be burned? Because they're heathen. They're not the children of the kingdom. They're not Israelites. You see, but gather the wheat, right? The children of the kingdom into my barn. Okay, now let's go down because it goes into the breakdown. Verse 37, it says, he answered and said unto them, he that soweth the good seed is the Son of Man, which is who? YAHWASHI. The field is the world, all right? And we're scattered throughout what? The four corners of the earth, okay? We're scattered throughout the world, okay? It says the good seed are the children of the kingdom, the Israelites. It says, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. And who's the wicked according to the scriptures? Malachi 1:4, Edom shall be called the border of wickedness. Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. And who rules this world? The so-called white man, all right? Isaiah 26:10. Let favor be showed to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. And in the land of uprightness, which is the land of Israel, will he deal unjustly. All right. And who's in the land of Israel today? The wicked. Ezekiel 36:5. Idumea, which I've appointed my land into their possession. This is the wicked one. Okay. Esau. All right. It says the enemy that sold them is the devil, because they are the physical counterpart. They are the deceivers. They are, Satan on earth, man. The devil, okay? The enemy that sold them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in fire, so shall it be in the end of this world. Okay? So, the Lord is basically, the Lord knows who are Israelites and who are not. Okay? All right, so, all right? Now what I want to do, I want to go to Revelation chapter 7, verse 9. Okay, to get into this. All right? Now, going back, hold up. Let's go back to the bell thing, the Dado Elizabeth Bella. So this right here is a good example of a tear. Okay? This is the tear, like the scriptures say, is the children of the wicked one. This right here will be a children of the wicked one, a child of the wicked one. Okay? Because this, her father, when you go to it, who's her father? Parents, Sir John Lindsay and Maria Bella. Now, Maria Bella was what they said, an African slave, was an Israelite. Okay? An Israelite woman. All right? And then you have Sir John Lindsay, which was what? An Edomite. Okay? All right, so this would be a perfect example of a tear. All right, now this will be a perfect example of a tear. Now I want to go to Revelation chapter 7, verse 9. Okay, it says, all right, because once again the Israelites, we're scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. You got Israelite men sleeping with all types of heathen women, bringing up and them women are bearing Israelite children. Okay, but now you got the features looking different. I mean, you got the features mixed together, All right, now you got this Israelite child. He got features of his mother, which probably is a Moabite, a Chinese woman, and so on and so forth. Okay, you got Israelites with heathen features, and all right. It says, after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. And what this represents is this great multitude are of Israelites. Okay, though you read all nations and kindreds and peoples and tongues, this still represent Israelites, man, because we've been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. All right, into these nations. All right, following their customs. All right. Basically Israelites looking like the heathen where they were scattered. All right, speaking their tongue, speaking their language. Okay, and now another verse to prove that is when you go to Revelation chapter 5, verse 9. This is the book of Revelation chapter 5, verse 9. It says, and they sung a new song, saying, thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof. For thou was slain. Who was slain? Yahawashi was slain. What the scripture say in Isaiah 53? For the transgressions of my people was he stricken. Roughly paraphrasing. Okay? It said, for thou was slain, and hast redeemed us to the Most High Yahweh by thy blood. Now, who did Yahawashi redeem? All right? Who was Yahawashi? Who did he redeem? What Yahawashi? He said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Who did Yahawashi come to the earth to redeem? Let's get the verse. All right, let's get the verse in Hebrews. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 9, verse 14. It says, how much more shall the blood of a Mashiach, who through the eternal spirit offered himself. That's why the scripture say what? When thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin. Isaiah 53, Yahawashi's body was made a sacrifice. You see, his body came in instead of lambs and goats, Okay, it says, spirit offer himself without spot to the Most High, purge your conscience from dead works to serve the living power. And for this cause, he is the mediator, or what? Intercessor, basically the middleman of the New Testament. All right, testament could be replaced with what? The word covenant. So the new covenant, that by means of death, for the redemption, right? Redemption goes back to redeem of the transgressions, the sins that were under the first testament, or what? The first covenant. And who was given the first covenant? All nations? Or was it just the nation of Israel? It was just the nation of Israel. That's who Yahawashi came to redeem. You see? Those that were under the first covenant, which are who? The Israelites. Okay? They which are called might receive the promise of eternal inheritance. That's why when you read the scripture in the book of Galatians, the scripture say what? The Most High sent forth his son, made of a woman, made under the law, to redeem them that were under the law. Who was under the law? The Israelites. You see? That's who was under the law, man. Okay? And that's who Yahawashi came to redeem. So when we're reading this, in Revelation 5, it says, for thou was slain and has redeemed us to the Most High. When you go to the word redeem, the prefix read means what? Again. Okay? All right? Basically, through Yahawashi, we have peace with the Lord. Okay? All right? Because we was with the Lord, but then we went astray. We became lost sheep, but now through Yahawashi, we have peace with the Most High again. Okay? The Lord, like the scriptures say, thou was slain and has redeemed us to the Most High Yahweh by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation. You see, because we've been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, following the customs and the mannerisms of the heathens, you know, speaking their language, you know. And not only that, we have Israelites in these nations. I mean, in the lands of these nations that look like the nations where they were scattered to, man. That look like Moab, that look like Ammon, that look like Ham, that look like Ishmael, that look like Elam. You see? That's why you can't judge an Israelite by how they, you can't judge a person. You can't say if a person is an Israelite or not just by their look. You see, now you could say, oh, all right, he looks like an Israelite. Like you could, like basically, you could look at somebody and say, oh, that's a Jake, but you really don't know if it's a Jake. All right? You can't really tell just by his appearance. All right? Now, if you've been around him, you see his mannerisms, how you think, how you speak, how he moves. Okay, then you see his spirit. Then you could, you know, all right, oh, this is Jake. He don't act like an Edomite. He act like a Jake. You see? Because this is a spiritual thing. All right? But now I got another verse. To go into this, okay? Because this is going to show once again that great multitude is speaking about Israelites. Okay? You're going to have Israelites, all right, in these nations that's going to look like heathens, man. That's going to look like that they're from the nation of Moab. That's going to look like they're from the nation of Ammon. That's going to look like they're from the nation of Ham, the nation of Elam, the nation of Edom. But what? They're Israelites. Okay? Let's go to the book of John. This is the book of John, chapter 11, verse 5. It says, I'm going to drop down. It says, now consider. I'm going to start at verse 49. It says, and one of them named Caiaphas, being the high priest that same year, said unto them, ye know nothing at all, nor consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people. All right, and who's that one man? That one man is Yahawashi. It goes back to Isaiah 53. For the transgressions of my people was he stricken. Okay, it says that the whole nation perished not. All right, Yahawashi was sent to redeem the nation of Israel, man. Through him, we are redeemed, man. Okay, he sacrificed himself for the entire nation of Israel. Okay, it says, and this spake he not of himself, all right? But being high priest that year, he prophesied that Yahawashi should die for that nation. Who's that nation? The nation of Israel, okay? But watch this. It says, and not for that nation only. Now, the nation that it's really speaking of was basically what was left of the nation of Israel, which was what? Benjamin, Judah, and Levi, those that were in the land, okay? But what? You had the other tribes, the northern kingdom, you know, all right? Okay, when you go into it, the northern kingdom, they came over here to the Americas after the Assyrian captivity. After the Assyrian captivity, they came over here to the Americas. Okay, so you had the Israelites that are following the customs and the mannerisms of the heathen. They were being called the uncircumcision, right? Okay, they were being seen as heathen, unclean, right? And then you even had the northern kingdom that wasn't in the land. All right, Yahawashi died for them too, not just the Jews that were in the land, but the northern kingdom that wasn't in the land. The Jews and the Israelites that were scattered throughout the other nations, following the customs and the manner, he died for them too, not just the Jews that were in the land. Okay, and we're going to read about it. It says, and not for that nation only, but that also he should gather together in one the children of the Most High Yahweh that were scattered abroad. And who's those children of the Lord of God, the sons of God that were scattered abroad. Let's go to James 1:1. It says, James, a servant of the Most High and of the Lord YAHWAH Mashiach, to the 12 tribes, showing you that what? Who was in the land at that time? Only prominently 3 tribes: Benjamin, Judah, and Levi, the southern kingdom, the kingdom of Judah. Now, what happened to the northern kingdom? Did YAHWAH not die for them? You know, what happened to the Israelites that were scattered throughout the nations, following the customs and the mannerisms of the heathen? You know, being called the uncircumcision. Didn't he die for them too? All right. Okay. That's who the scriptures is speaking about, man. All right. Not you heathen. Okay. It's talking about Israelites that were seen as heathen. Those are the Gentiles that's going to be delivered, man. Okay. So it says to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, right? We're scattered throughout these nations, speaking their languages, following their customs, worshiping their deities. You see? But now the Lord, like the scriptures say, old Jerusalem, basically stand up, all right? For thy children basically is being gathered by what? The word, all right? This wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Okay? Now the Israelites are being drawn back through Yahweh, to the Heavenly Father by who? Yahawashi. Okay? All right? Because Yahawashi is the word. All right? So, all right? So, I let me see. Does that wrap it up? Let me see. I got like I think I got 2 more precepts. We are the children. I spelled, yeah, okay, but Romans chapter 8, verse 16, it says, it says, Romans chapter 8, verse 16, it says, the Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of YAHAWAH Bahasham YAHAWASHI. You see that? Okay? This is a spiritual thing, man. You can't look at the basically the flesh. All right? You can't look, oh, this man, he got straight hair, blonde hair, blue eyes. He gotta be an Edomite. You know? Now you could say, all right, yeah, you're an Edomite, but you really don't know. Okay? All right? Let's get another precept, because that man could indeed be an Israelite, or that woman could indeed be an Israelite woman. You see, that just looks like a heathen. Okay, let's get this is a good example right here. When you go into, I think it was Samuel the prophet. Okay. Samuel the prophet, when Samuel, if I'm not mistaken, Samuel, when the Lord rejected Saul as being king, and he sent Samuel to go to Jesse, okay, to go to his sons, to go pick among them the next king, which would be David. Samuel was basically looking at him like, oh, this got to be the new king of Israel. Of course the Lord has anointed him. Basically because Samuel was looking at the outer appearance. You know, those men, they were probably, you know, more built than David. You know, probably had a higher stature than David. And Samuel was like, oh, this must be the next king. You know, this got to be the next king of Israel. But then the Lord, hey, we're finna read about it. It says, 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 5, it says, and he said peaceably, I am come to sacrifice unto the Lord Yahweh. Sanctify yourselves and come with me to the sacrifice. And he sanctified Jesse and his sons and called them to the sacrifice. And it came to pass, when they were come, that he looked on Eliab and said, surely the Lord Yahweh anointed is before him. So, you know, Saul sent Eliab, all right, one of Jesse's sons, one of David's brother. All right, he's like, oh yeah, of course the Lord anointed him. This gotta be the king. This gotta be the next king. Basically, he's looking at what? The outer appearance, man. You see? Let's keep reading. It says, but the Lord Yahweh said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance, all right, or the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord Yahweh seeth not as man seeth, for man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord Yahweh looketh on the heart, which is what? The mind. You see that? All right, yeah, that's right there, man. You see, man looketh out the outward appearance. We can't look at the outward appearance. We got to look at what? The spirit. Okay, so all right, so I guess that wraps it up. Okay, so you're gonna have Israelites that look like heathens. You're gonna have heathens that look like Israelites. All right, that's why this is a a spiritual thing, man. All right, a big man, it's gonna be crazy. Israelites that from every nation under heaven looking like heathens, you know. Okay, so really that's the point. Lord will, this video is edifying. I'm gonna close it out, give infinite praises, honor and glory to YAHAWAH Bahasham YAHAWASHI Bahasham RAWCHAA QADASH. Double honor to the elders and apostles, great millstone, peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalawam.